With Star Wars Episode 9 releasing at the very end of 2019, and a lot of fans very curious about exactly how J.J. Abrams will be incorporating a lot of twists and turns and surprises for the fans, many people are very curious about this film. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, with each month that passes by, we are getting close to the very end of filming for this movie, which, by the way, is projected to end by February of 2019. We are getting closer to that point in time in which we will get the official title reveal for Star Wars Episode 9. But until then, a lot of people have been wondering about the title for this movie. Now, in the past, we've seen certain working titles such as Black Diamond, Trixie, and Nexus, and with some of the script changes in play and some of the script rewrites and adjustments here and there, some of the working titles have actually been changed for certain sequences. One of which actually is, of course, Star Wars Cosmos for Episode 9. And this is honestly raising a lot of questions as to what this actually means for the plot of the movie. Now, with each working title for Episode 9, it's said to actually give us a hint of what's to come in this film. Now, like I say, the first working title was, of course, Black Diamond, which could very well have to do with Snoke's ring. The second one was Trixie, which, by the way, could also have to do with Supreme Leader Snoke. And the third, of course, being Nexus, which I believe has all to do with the worlds between worlds, since it's all about connections. And, of course, finally, we have Cosmos. So Star Wars Cosmos, I believe, has all to do with exploring the entire universe. It could very well be possible that J.J. Abrams plans on taking our characters out of the existing galaxy past the unknown regions in Star Wars Episode 9. That's a possibility for sure. Now, I don't know about you guys, but we've been hearing about the unknown regions having a vital role in the plot of Episode 9, and it would also connect to what's actually on the planet Jakku. On Jakku, there's this observatory, and in there are pathways, maps, if you will, to the unknown regions and how to get through them. Now, that to me could also be a hint as to why the latest working title is Star Wars Cosmos for Star Wars Episode 9. Now, what's great about working titles is that it gives you a little hint of what this movie is going to be about before we get that official Star Wars Episode 9 title reveal, which, by the way, most likely will drop in February of 2019, which honestly isn't that far away. We're pretty much already in December. Then we only have 2 months pretty much at that point. So with that being said, guys, I would love to hear what you have to say about the worlds between worlds. I think that the previous working title, Nexus, was actually a very big hint that the worlds between worlds is actually going to be a part in this movie. Because we've been hearing about all of these discussions between JJ, Rian Johnson, Dave Filoni, which, by the way, is the showrunner of Star Wars Rebels. He is the man who introduced the concept of time travel and the worlds between worlds in the actual Star Wars franchise itself. So, you know, we also know that Jon Favreau has talked with him. All of the directors and writers talk with each other in order to keep the continuity in place here. Now, the worlds between worlds, alright? If we actually do examine that sequence in Star Wars Rebels Season 4, it honestly opens up great possibilities to honestly see certain visions of other characters, save others from certain moments and times of the past. It's just like how Ezra Bridger saved Ahsoka Tano from Darth Vader killing her. And that was a very, big and pivotal moment, and in, of course, Season 4 of Star Wars Rebels. So with Star Wars Episode 9 coming into play, we do know that this movie is going to be an all-out war, and the war to end all wars, as John Boyega has said before in the past. And with Star Wars Cosmos, quote-unquote, being the latest code name for this movie, I think it's a huge hint that we are actually going to be exploring different aspects of the universe in Star Wars, not just within the galaxy, but secrets of the Force that could very well benefit our characters like Rey and Kylo Ren. And that's honestly opening up the possibilities of new powers for these characters. So I think it also opens up the idea of the Wills playing a role in Episode 9. This was an original idea, by the way, by George Lucas that never made it to any film on screen. Now, the Wills, you can see them in the Clone Wars, and I'm really hoping that they do make their way into the actual movies on the big screen. In fact, there was a hint in The Last Jedi when Luke Skywalker told Rey in one of the original teasers where he says it's so much bigger. We never got that line by Luke in Episode 8. So with that being said, I think what he was referring to was the wills. I think that Rian Johnson wanted to implement the concept of the wills, but that was ultimately scrapped and he did away with the idea. Honestly, I think that would have made the whole aspect of the Force and lore about the Jedi a lot more expansive than it ever was. So, going now into Episode 9, we do know that JJ and Chris, they are really trying their very best to open up as many possibilities as much as they can. You know, they're really trying to work very hard on this film. I can only imagine how stressful it is right now to get this movie right. You know, this isn't just the final film of the sequel trilogy, it is literally the final Skywalker saga movie, as Disney and Lucasfilm has said officially. This is going to be the last chapter Star Wars movie, and this could honestly end the whole entire concept of open and crawls, because that open and crawl concept is really only dedicated to the Skywalker saga. So, if this is indeed the final Skywalker saga film, this may be our last movie with an open and crawl, which honestly is a traditional Star Wars piece, and I really do hope that they don't do away with that. But anyways guys, what do you think about Cosmos, the latest working title / code name for Star Wars Episode 9? I would really love to hear what you have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.